Welcome to Korean Cinema Channel. Today I would like to send you the following news. The short drama world has a nuking bomb. CP, Wang Haozhen and Hae-in who take over the short drama scene has officially gone insane, and this time, it's because of a CP no one saw coming. Wang Haozhen and Hae-in have stormed the market as a full-blown king bomb couple, leaving audiences helplessly addicted. Who would have imagined that Wang Haozhen, once known for sweetly overwhelming viewers alongside Guo Yuxin in Bring the National Husband Home, would now be paired with post-Zero's rising star Hae-in in 3 consecutive dramas, becoming fan-favorite rose couple from The Soft Rose Falls into His Ultimate Favor, to Running Toward the Rose, and now the newly released When the Rose Kissed the Barrel of the Gun. The two have teamed up 3 times, and every single title carries the word rose. Coincidence? Fans don't think so. On screen and off, their chemistry feels dangerously natural, as if the pairing was destined rather than planned. Their story began in May 2025 with The Soft Rose Falls into His Ultimate Favor. In this drama, Wang Haozhen shattered his usual domineering CEO image and took on the role of a post-apocalyptic survivor, silent, restrained, and carrying the weight of loss. Hae-in played Wen Yao, a girl abandoned by fate who claws her way back through rebirth and defiance. The setting was fictional, but the emotions were painfully real. Her tear-filled eyes pulled viewers in, while his quiet gaze spoke volumes of suppressed devotion. One comment summed it up perfectly: Hae-in's red eyes make you hurt with her, and Wang Haozhen only needs one look to make you feel his love. That spark ignited something bigger in July. Running Toward the Rose pushed their CP popularity straight to the peak. Built on the classic tropes of contract marriage and secret crush fulfilled, the drama struck a nerve with mature audiences. Wang Haozhen's Lu Hushi was the definition of a dad-type CEO, cold on the outside, impossibly gentle underneath. Hae-in's Shen Jinai was proud, dependent, and sharp-edged, yet vulnerable in private. The magic lay in the details. He quietly places a cup of warm milk on her desk during late-night overtime. He kneels to change her shoes when he notices her heels have rubbed her feet raw. She stands firm against place humiliation, but the moment she turns around, she buries her face in his coat and cries without restraint. No exaggerated sweetness. No childish misunderstandings. Just 2 adults choosing to protect each other. Viewers went viral. This is what adult love would look like: equal, supportive, and devastatingly tender. Now, with When the Rose Kissed the Barrel of the Gun, the Rose couple has reached fullness status. The tone grows darker, the emotions sharper, but the trust between them remains unbreakable. Each elaboration feels more precise, more dangerous, more addictive. What makes Wang Haozhen and Hae-in so lethal together isn't age gap or novelty, it's balance. His calm depth meets her vivid intensity. His restraint gives her space to burn. In a hot drama market crowded with rushed sweetness and disposable CPs, they offer something rare: chemistry that grows, evolves, and deepens with every reunion. And now the question isn't why they're popular anymore, it's how long the industry can survive before this rose couple completely takes over. When the Rose Kissed the Barrel of the Gun premiered on December 16, it marked a true turning point for this CP, and for Wang Haozhen himself. For the first time, he stepped away from familiar romantic archetypes and took on the role of an undercover police officer. His character, Yang Qiao, later living under the alias Yan Heng, moves carefully within a drug cartel, every word measured, every emotion buried beneath layers of deception. One wrong glance could mean death. One emotional slip could expose everything opposite him. Hae-in's Lin Yan is no longer a decorative presence orbiting the male lead. She is a lawyer with sharp instincts and sharper courage, deliberately stepping into danger to uncover the truth. This legal rose doesn't wait to be rescued, she advances, confronts, and challenges. When Yan Heng deliberately distances himself, she doesn't cry in silence. She looks him in the eye and demands an answer: "You're clearly in love. What right do you have to push me away?" That line alone became a viral quote. Wang Haozhen's performance reveals a rare sense of layering. As an undercover officer, his restraint is almost painful, jaw tight, voice low, eyes always calculating. But when the story jumps 3 years forward and he begins chasing love again, that sharpness softens into something awkward and sincere. He doesn't know how to love openly anymore. The contrast between danger and devotion gives his character a depth that viewers weren't prepared for. The chemistry between the two feels jealously natural. So natural, in fact, that audiences began questioning whether they were really acting. In a leaked on-set clip, Hae-in improvised a line: "Dr. Joe, your heartbeat is really fast." Wang Haozhen's ears turned red instantly. The director didn't call it, and just like that, another legendary sweet scene was born. This kind of chemistry isn't accidental. Hao Chang'ai is classically trained, with a strong command of emotional rhythm and timing. Wang Haozhen, with over 10 years of acting experience, is known for obsessing over details. He even developed his own technique of acting with the Adam's apple, using subtle throat movements to express tension and restraint. When these two meet, emotions don't explode, they simmer. Many viewers have inevitably compared this pairing to Wang Haozhen's earlier collaboration with Guo Yuxin. The consensus is surprisingly clear: Hao Chang'ai fits him better. Guo Yuxin embodies a pure, ethereal first love aura, while Hao Chang'ai is vivid, grounded, and versatile, capable of being fierce one moment and tender the next. In running toward the rose, she shuts down the male lead's ex with icy confidence: "I'm his legally married wife." "And you are?" In When the Rose Kissed the Barrel of the Gun, she switches gears entirely, calmly confronting the truth: "I can wait 3 years. But I won't accept lies." That emotional clarity hits hard off-screen. The sweetness continues. At IKYE's Glow Night 2025, Hao Chang'ai won the annual Microdrama Popular Actress Award and publicly thanked Wang Haozhen for his audience both on and off-street. Later, Wang Haozhen joked in an interview, "One of her crying scenes almost broke me. Her emotional pull is terrifying." This mutual respect is what truly locks in the CP fandom. It's not just romance, it's recognition, and that's why the Rose couple doesn't feel like a fleeting trend. They feel like a partnership built on trust, craft, and growth. In a market hungry for authenticity, Wang Haozhen and Hao Chang'ai didn't just deliver chemistry. The rise of Wang Haozhen and Hao Chang'ai perfectly confirms a hard truth of the short drama market: CP fixation is traffic logic. From Yu Yuding and Chen Xiangxiang to Liu Nian and He Congru, fixed pairings have repeatedly proven that repeated collaboration doesn't dilute appeal, it amplifies it. Familiar faces create emotional shortcuts. Audiences don't need to warm up, they're already invested. Each reunion becomes an event, each new story a variation on a relationship viewers are eager to revisit. Yet the so-called Rose couple stands apart from every formula that came before. Their uniqueness lies in continuity without repetition. Across 3 dramas, the rose is not just a word in the title, it is a symbolic thread. In the post-apocalyptic ruins, the rose represents fragile hope. In the workplace romance, it becomes pride and partnership. In the I'm and justice narrative of When the Rose Kissed the Barrel of the Gun, it turns into danger, loyalty, and moral conviction. Same imagery, completely different emotional temperatures. That is how freshness survives repetition. Producers clearly understand the power of this design. When the Rose Kissed the Barrel of the Gun opened reservations on the Hangzhou platform, over 300,000 users signed up on the first day alone. That number wasn't built on plot summaries or trailers, it was built on trust. Trust in the pairing. Trust in the emotional payoff. Trust that this rose would bloom differently again. But CP binding is never a one-way blessing for actors, it is a double-edged sword sharp enough to carve careers, or trap them. Wang Haozhen's journey is a textbook comeback story. From unnoticed background roles in long dramas to becoming a short drama top-tier male lead, his breakthrough came from ruthless casting precision. He didn't chase variety, he chased roles that matched his temperament: restrained, controlled, emotionally heavy. The Rose series magnified those strengths and finally gave audiences a face to remember. Hao Chang'ai's ascent is just as striking. With the Rose trilogy, she rapidly climbed into the ranks of the year's most respected short drama actresses. Viewers don't praise her for beauty alone. They talk about her reactions, her timing, her ability to switch between sharp rationality and emotional vulnerability without breaking character. She doesn't repeat herself, she evolves. Too much familiarity can harden into typecasting. Audiences may fall in love with the CP, but the industry is ruthless. If future roles begin to blur together, same tone, same dynamic, same emotional rhythm, the applause will fade faster than it arrived. Avoiding homogenization will require courage, choosing scripts that challenge the pairing rather than comfort it, or even daring to separate temporarily. Ironically, that risk is also their advantage because Wang Haozhen and Hao Chang'ai have already proven something rare: they don't rely on one setting or one identity to sell chemistry. They can survive the end of the world, navigate corporate warfare, and walk a razor's edge between law and crime, without losing credibility. That flexibility is their real capital. The short drama market thrives on speed, but longevity belongs to those who can reinvent without betrayal. If the Rose couple continues to treat each collaboration as a reinvention rather than a repetition, Their bond won't become a cage, it will become a brand, and in a market driven by belief as much as clicks, that may be the most valuable rose of all. Thank you for watching my channel. See you in the next videos. Thanks.